Glover Teixeira was a plus 140 underdog versus Anthony Smith minus 160. This was the only bet on the card for us because this was one of, I think, 4 fights. We actually had odds for at the time. That would be like comparison of we're going to go over the fights that are announced for UFC, the May 30 card, and making a bet now about those. So just putting in perspective where we were at for that. Glover Teixeira won via round 5 ground and pound. It was a bit of a rough fight. It's honestly kind of a typical Glover Teixeira fight when he's facing the upper echelon, but not like the elite. He got near finished early in the fight. Anthony Smith actually looked fairly fantastic the first 2 rounds, like putting it to Glover early on and then just falling off in a major way. And like the fight should have been stopped sooner. Like it was a rough go. Glover came back as Glover can do. I've heard it said that his wrestling gets better when he gets rocked, which it almost appears to be. But I mean, kudos to Glover Teixeira for getting that. I just thought that it had finally caught up with him, and I guess I rated Anthony Smith a little bit too high. I thought he was in that upper tier of the division, but I'm guessing not, since he was able to get taken out by Glover. So Glover is the ultimate 5-round veteran light heavyweight. So watch out. I can't give you a light heavyweight for him to fight because I think everybody else would just absolutely destroy him. I mean, Thiago Santos, give him Thiago Santos and Thiago Santos come back from his knee injury. I'd love to see that. Mike, how'd you feel about the stoppage here, or lack of stoppage early on in the stoppage? The fight overall, how Teixeira looked, how Smith looked, and where you would like to see Glover Teixeira fight next?
Ah, man, I fucking sometimes just hate myself. If you guys have listened to the podcast, from the beginning, from last show to this one with just Bob and I have a couple of rules, and I've talked about them a few times. The OGs will know what I'm saying. I hate betting against the OG. I despise it. I always believe the OG has the better chance and he's going to win, and it's the better bet. It's one of my rules. I bet the OG versus the other guy, and I went against that this time. Because I really believe that Anthony Smith was better than he is, and I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, he's tough, he's this. He's definitely tough. Of course, you're not a fighter if you're not tough. But there's a certain point where it's just stupid, If that was my brother getting his ass beat for that badly, just throw in the towel before the 4th round, or in the 4th round at least. There's no point to damage your body that badly, loosen your teeth, take that CTE for the future. It's not tough anymore, You're losing, you lost. There's nothing extra for you for that. Maybe a fight of the night, but they rarely give it to the, you getting your ass beat. So it's sad that these guys think that that's tough, that getting punched in your face repeatedly when you're not in a good spot is tough. It's just, I respect the warrior attitude, but it's not smart for your family, for the future, as a business model. You're not going to be a fighter forever. I told my brother that a long time ago when he would, call me soft or call me a pussy or something for being on the ambulance, saving lives, and not wanting to go out and party with him. I tell him, little by little, over the years, I'm going to make more money than you, working 9 to 5 every day. And these fighters don't really realize that they need to have a backup plan after. Few do. And it's sad, man, because Anthony Smith might be one of those guys that's going to learn a hard lesson, but he actually is pretty talented, so hopefully he becomes an announcer. But I don't see Anthony Smith going anywhere further. I don't see him a real bright future. He's definitely peaked, and he's declining in my eyes. Glover Teixeira, it's crazy to see him at his age. He definitely looked like he was healthy and on a little bit of extra something. And it's just amazing to see him and like Shogun still put out some crazy performances at this age.
Well, and those are one of those once in a career, and I guess maybe not once in a career, but like those beatings that change you. Like Anthony Smith had so much damage put on him that he's for sure not going to be the same coming back. So I guess we'll see the level that is at. But I am vowing right now on this show, and I would bet Mike would second, that regardless of how he may look at weigh-ins or whatever like that, it's like we are never betting Anthony Smith again.
Bob,
yeah.
How many times did I say bet the OG?
More times than I can count, actually.
And I hate and how many times do I go against it and lose?
Handful. And we regret it every time.
Fuck, dude. Do you need to stop?
In the future, I'll push it a little bit more. But obviously, we really wanted to give you guys content and give you guys a bet because we knew the show was going to come out later and not give you guys enough time to listen to the show and put a bet out.
And to be dead honest, we would have picked Drew Dober was the number one pick. We would have maxed it, slammed it. There would have been no Anthony Smith.
Well, we talked about it. We talked about it later.
know.
Normally, we like to have two bets for you guys. One from me, one from Mike. And judging by how we liked both guys, I think how it would have worked out is been to win 2 units on Drew Dober. That's what I ended up betting him at. And I know Mike did at least that, if not more. At bare minimum, we may have talked about it more and put more on him, but at least to win 2 units. And I was really liking him. And obviously, it was split decision, but he still lost. Was the 1 unit on Ray Borg. So still would have been ahead on that night. But hey, we ended up minus 1.6 units because we went to win 1 unit for Anthony Smith. And you know what? Never again. Sorry, Anthony Smith, we're done, especially after hearing how you've handled this loss and this stoppage and talking about how you told your coaches if they would ever throw in the towel that you would fire them, complaining that it actually got stopped because you didn't go out even though you were missing teeth and falling apart.
And that's why boxers have died recently, is because corners are so fucking stupid that they don't care about their fighters, and it's a shame, man. You gotta care about your fighter.
No, absolutely, I'm 100% on that. That's one of the ones that, I'm sorry, it should have been stopped at least a round beforehand, if not more. So he had minutes of more damage. If you like this clip, remember to like, subscribe, and comment. We want to hear from you. Let's roll.